Welcome to Daily Stoic Practice, your compass to navigate the complexities of modern life with ancient wisdom. Have you ever wondered what truly holds us back from achieving the things we long for? Is it a lack of resources, skills, or is it something else entirely? The truth is, what matters most isn't what you have or the knowledge you've gathered, but how you face each day, each decision in your life. Today, we'll go beyond talking about self-discipline as a tool for achieving goals. We'll dive into it from a different perspective through the lens of Stoic philosophy. Stoicism is the philosophy of those who've endured life's harshest challenges and yet found peace and strength by actively and deliberately controlling their actions, emotions, and responses. Imagine one morning, you wake up, look at yourself, and realize that you have complete control over your life. No longer are you pulled by the endless demands and temptations of modern life. You begin to live with calm, decisiveness, and purpose. This isn't a life of limitations, it's a life of true freedom, freedom from within. So, how do we get there? How can we build and maintain self-discipline so we can live a life that's meaningful and powerful like the Stoics? Let's embark on this journey together and uncover the 7 principles they used to turn discipline into a way of life. 1. Self-awareness and acceptance. Imagine you're on a long journey, but you don't have a map or a compass. How can you be sure you're heading in the right direction? How can you trust the path you're on if you're not even clear about yourself? This is why self-awareness, understanding yourself deeply, is such an essential first step in building discipline. So what is self-awareness? It's not just knowing your likes and dislikes, it's about digging deeper to understand what drives and restrains you. Have you ever asked yourself why certain things test your patience, what excites you, or when you tend to get swept up in emotion? These questions help you start to understand yourself better, not to judge, but to find a way to adjust and grow. Stoic philosophy teaches us that self-control begins with knowing who we are and accepting everything about ourselves. Have you ever faced a situation where you struggled to stay calm? Are you easily affected by others' words or actions? Once you know these reactions, you can start finding ways to manage them more consciously. One effective way to practice this principle is to keep a journal. Every day, you can spend a few minutes writing down your feelings, noting what made you happy, sad, or what you wish you'd handled differently. Have you tried this before? What might happen if you spent just 5 minutes at the end of each day reflecting on yourself? Over time, you'll start noticing patterns in your emotions, habits, and reactions. From there, you can gradually improve, changing in ways that align with who you want to be. A great example comes from Marcus Aurelius. He kept a notebook which later became the famous work Meditations, where he recorded his daily thoughts on how he faced life's challenges. He didn't do this to praise himself, but to remind himself to be better. Would you be willing to try this method? Take a moment to think about your day. What made you feel proud? Is there something you wish you'd handled differently? The key here isn't to be perfect, but to acknowledge what you can improve and keep striving. If you find yourself easily frustrated today, ask yourself, what triggered that feeling? What could you do differently next time? In the end, self-awareness and acceptance aren't about finding faults, but about seeing yourself with patience and compassion. You don't need to change immediately. Simply ask yourself sincerely, what can I do to be a better version of myself than I was yesterday? When you have the answer, hold on to it and apply it tomorrow. Remember, building discipline isn't a destination, but a continuous journey. And it all begins with understanding yourself and accepting everything about you. Strengths and weaknesses alike. Are you ready to start? 2. Start small, aim big. When thinking about a big goal, have you ever felt overwhelmed or even wanted to give up before you began? Sometimes we set grand plans, only to quickly lose motivation because we don't know where to start or because we expect perfection right away. But think about the great things you admire. A magnificent building, a successful person. Everything big is built from the smallest building blocks, from the first few seemingly insignificant steps. In Stoic philosophy, starting small isn't just an easier way to move toward a goal. It's a way to build discipline naturally. Think of your goal. Maybe it's learning a new language, improving your health, or developing a skill. Have you ever set a big plan only to abandon it because it felt like too much? If so, this might be a time to try a different approach. Start small and move steadily. For example, if you want to start a running habit, don't aim for 3 miles a day if you're not used to exercising. Instead, try starting with just 5 minutes of running or even walking. How would it feel if you knew that just by investing 5 minutes daily, you're getting closer to your goal? Not only does this make success feel more achievable, but it also gives you a sense of accomplishment, boosting your confidence day by day. When you start small, you're allowing yourself to experience little wins every day. These wins, though small, accumulate. They motivate you to keep going. Do you notice that each time you complete a small task, you feel proud and energized? This is how you build sustainable discipline. Imagine it this way. You don't need to learn 10 new English vocabulary words a day right from the start. Just 2 to 3 words daily, and after a month, you'll be surprised by your expanded vocabulary. Ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today to get closer to my goal without feeling overwhelmed? Maybe it's reading a few pages of a book, writing a few lines in your journal, or exercising for just 5 minutes. Breaking down your goals makes it much easier to accomplish them. You won't feel overburdened, and this helps you maintain long-term motivation. One interesting aspect of starting small is that it helps you avoid the discouragement of slow progress. Remember, the goal isn't to reach the top instantly, but to make steady progress each day. If you take a small step today and another tomorrow, over time, you'll be amazed at how far you've come. Have you ever found yourself easily giving up on a goal because results didn't come immediately? This is common and precisely why many people give up. But think of the story of a farmer planting seeds. They don't expect the tree to bear fruit the day after they plant it. Instead, they water it, nurture it daily, and patiently wait for harvest season. Are you ready to become that patient farmer? Starting small doesn't mean diminishing the importance of your goal. It's an approach that allows you to achieve it practically and effectively. Why not start today? Choose one small action that you can take to get closer to your goal. Remind yourself that every small action has value and meaning in your journey of self-development. In the end, remember that each small step is a building block for great achievements. And once you're used to taking these small steps, you'll find yourself ready to face bigger challenges without fear. This is the power of starting small, moving slowly, and building steadily. So, are you ready to take that first step? 3. Persevering for lasting joy. Imagine standing before a tempting delight. Maybe it's your favorite snack, an engaging TV show, or something that brings instant pleasure. At that moment, you probably feel that this joy is worth experiencing right now. But ask yourself, will this short-lived pleasure help you achieve what you genuinely want in the long run? One of the fundamental principles of discipline is the ability to persevere toward long-term goals, even when there's no immediate reward. Lasting joy doesn't come solely from enjoying the final result, but from knowing you've steadily built that success, one step at a time. Think back to a time when you resisted a temporary desire to achieve something more meaningful. Maybe you chose healthier meals instead of junk food to improve your health, or you studied instead of watching TV to get better grades. How did you feel when you finally reached your goal? A famous Stoic quote by Seneca reminds us, "Nothing truly valuable comes quickly." If you're working to improve your health, you can't expect results from just a week of healthy eating and exercise. Similarly, success in studies or work requires time and dedicated effort. This is the joy of lasting fulfillment, learning to say no to instant gratification and focusing on the bigger picture. Let's try a quick exercise. Close your eyes and think about a big goal you've set for yourself. One that feels distant and challenging. Now, break it down into smaller, more achievable steps. For example, if you're aiming to save a large amount of money, you could start by cutting down on small daily expenses like coffee or snacks. Could you delay these small pleasures to bring yourself closer to a more significant goal? Another helpful approach to perseverance is visualizing long-term benefits. Consider the rewards of consistent exercise. Rather than dwelling on today's sore muscles, imagine a strong, healthy body that you're building over time. Likewise, if you're learning a new skill, don't get discouraged by initial difficulties. Focus instead on all the opportunities this skill could unlock for you in the future. Visualizing these rewards fuels your motivation to keep going despite short-term challenges. Have you noticed that the greatest joy often comes from accomplishing something you've pursued for a long time? When you persevere toward a goal, the joy comes not only from the outcome, but also from the journey, from every moment of hard work, every time you resisted a passing temptation, and stayed true to your path. Remember, lasting joy is that sense of fulfillment you feel knowing you gave it your all. To practice persevering for lasting joy, try this. Rather than focusing on what you're giving up, think about what you're gaining. Ask yourself, will this choice bring me lasting joy, or is it just temporary satisfaction? Once you answer that question, it becomes easier to stick to what truly matters and to turn down fleeting temptations. Lastly, keep in mind that perseverance for long-term fulfillment doesn't mean giving up all current pleasures. It's about choosing wisely. By doing so, you're giving yourself a profound sense of achievement, pride, and self-confidence. Are you ready to take the more challenging but meaningful path? Why not start today? Choose long-term joy over a quick fix. You'll find that the sense of accomplishment and happiness from reaching your goals is worth so much more than any short-lived pleasure. 4. Focus on what you can control. Have you ever found yourself spending too much time worrying about things you can't change? Maybe you're concerned about what others think of you, or you're stressed over uncontrollable factors like the weather, news, or someone's harsh words. We often dedicate our time and energy to these things, only to end up feeling drained and powerless. But pause and think. What if you focused solely on what you can actually control? Stoic philosophy teaches us that the key to a peaceful life lies in distinguishing between what we can and cannot control. Epictetus famously said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." Understanding and acting according to this principle will help you live a freer life with less worry. Take a moment to reflect on your day. How many things did you do because you were anxious about others' opinions, or because you tried to change a situation that was beyond your influence? Have you ever asked yourself, if I can't change this, why let it control my emotions? Picture yourself steering a boat through a stormy sea. You can't control the waves or the weather, but you can adjust your course and how you face the challenges. These are the things truly within your control. One way to practice this principle is by creating 2 simple lists, one for what you can control and one for what you can't. For example, you can control your reaction to criticism, choose a healthy lifestyle, or manage your stress levels. However, you can't control what others think of you or unexpected events that happen in life. When you make this distinction, you'll know where to focus your energy and learn to let go of the rest. Have you noticed that every time you concentrate on things within your control, you feel more confident and empowered? This happens because you're actively taking charge of your life. Here's an example. If you aim to succeed at work, instead of worrying about your boss's judgment, focus on improving your skills, learning daily, and doing your best. The final result may be uncertain, but you know you've put in your best effort. Another way to apply this principle is to focus on tangible actions whenever you feel anxious or uncertain. For example, if you're nervous about an upcoming meeting, focus on preparing well rather than stressing over the outcome. Ask yourself, what can I do today to make a real impact on my goal? Even a small, clear action helps you feel in control. In a world full of external influences and surprises, the ability to focus on what you can control is invaluable. It helps you stay grounded, peaceful, and less easily swayed by unnecessary distractions. Are you ready to try? Start by practicing this every day. Concentrate on what you can do right now, and you'll soon notice a positive shift in your emotions and mindset. Remember, focusing on what you can control doesn't mean being indifferent or unresponsive to the world around you. Instead, it means choosing to live a proactive life, free from the weight of uncontrollable factors. And when you do this, life becomes simpler, lighter, and more meaningful. So are you ready to let go of what's out of reach and devote your full attention to what you truly can control? Start today and feel the freedom that comes from owning your actions and responses. 5. Building habits and consistency. Imagine waking up each morning knowing exactly what you need to do without hesitation or second guessing. Everyday habits become your allies, guiding you towards your larger goals. But why are habits so important, and how can we build them effectively? When it comes to self-discipline, creating small, consistent habits is one of the most important foundations. Habits help you reduce unnecessary decisions and create stability in your life. Have you noticed that when you follow an established routine, you spend less mental energy deciding what to do? This freed-up energy can then be used to focus on things that truly matter. Think about a simple morning routine that you can stick to daily. It could be waking up at the same time, doing a quick exercise, or spending a few minutes meditating or journaling. These small actions don't just start your day on a positive note, they also help build sustainable discipline. Imagine how it would feel to complete every part of your morning routine. The sense of calm and confidence would carry through your whole day. Have you ever noticed that when you're used to a habit, you hardly have to think about it anymore? That's when the habit has become automatic, and its real power kicks in. For example, once you're used to reading for 10 minutes each night, you're gradually building a habit of learning and self-growth. Or, once you're in the habit of drinking water regularly, you're naturally looking after your health without even trying. Consistency also keeps us focused on long-term goals. You may have set a huge goal for yourself in the past, but lost motivation along the way due to a lack of structure. Instead, if you break down the goal into smaller daily steps and stick to them, you'll get closer to your goal without feeling overwhelmed. For instance, if your goal is to write a book, try writing 200 words every day. In just a month, you'll have over 6,000 words. Take a look at your life and consider which habits have stayed with you and which ones you'd like to build. Some useful habits might be reading, exercising, meditating, or journaling. The best part is, you don't have to start with big, complex habits. Start small, make them manageable, and repeat them. Are you willing to try adding just one small habit to your morning routine and see how it changes things? Another important point is to be flexible and persistent. There might be days when you miss a habit, but that doesn't mean you've failed. Think of a habit as a plant you're growing. Some days are sunny, others stormy. What matters is that you don't give up. You keep nurturing it, adjusting as needed, and trusting the process. When you realize that you can get back on track after every setback, you're building resilience, and your habits grow stronger too. A little trick is to use reminders or notes to help maintain habits. Set a morning alarm to wake up at the right time or place small notes around your home reminding you of your goals and habits. You'll be surprised how these small supports make habits easier and more effective. So, are you ready to start building habits? Start today with one small, consistent action, like writing a list of the habits you want to keep, or adding one small habit to your schedule. Each small step takes you closer to your goals, building a life of order and purpose. When you look back, you'll see that consistency brings about the biggest changes. Habits not only help you reach goals, but they also create a strong foundation for long-term growth. Do you want a life full of positive habits leading to greater achievements? Begin today and feel the difference. 6. Choosing positive friends and environments. Think about the people you interact with daily. Are they a source of inspiration that lifts you up, or sometimes a source of discouragement? Also, does your living space, work environment, or community make it easier or harder for you to stay disciplined? Though it might seem simple, these factors have a profound impact on the quality of your life and your ability to maintain self-discipline. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of choosing a healthy environment and positive relationships. To reach your goals, you need a space and people around you who support, not hinder, your journey. Imagine yourself as a seed. No matter how much potential you have, if you're planted in barren soil without water or sunlight, can you really grow to your fullest potential? Similarly, you need a supportive environment to reach your best self. Ask yourself, do the people around you encourage, motivate, and share your values? When you're with disciplined, determined people who are also striving for self-improvement, you'll find it easier to maintain healthy habits and feel motivated to move forward. On the other hand, if you're often around people who easily give up or always make excuses, you might get drawn into negative patterns and lose discipline over time. Here's a specific example. If you want to build a habit of exercising regularly, try surrounding yourself with people who live a healthy lifestyle. These friends might even encourage you to work out together. Or you could form a group that supports each other. Not only are you responsible for yourself, but you're also committed to the group. This environment supports your development as you're strengthened by shared motivation. Your physical space also plays an important role in maintaining discipline. Look around your living and work spaces. Do they really help you focus on your goals? For example, if you're trying to study or work efficiently, a clean, organized desk will make you feel comfortable and focused. A cluttered room might make it hard to concentrate. Try decluttering your workspace, adding a plant or natural light. You may be surprised at how these small changes create a big difference in your mood and focus. Seneca, a renowned Stoic philosopher, once advised us to choose our companions wisely because they deeply impact the path we take. It doesn't mean you need to remove all people who don't share your goals, but you can set boundaries or limit the time spent with them. This helps protect your energy and focus on achieving what matters most. Reflect on your relationships. Is there anyone who frequently distracts you or encourages you to lose focus? It could be a friend who always suggests putting things off, or a workspace that constantly draws your attention away. Recognizing these influences allows you to plan ways to adapt or change. This could mean finding a new study spot or spending more time with positive, goal-oriented people. Also, think about the online spaces you engage with daily. Your environment isn't just physical, but digital too. Consider following educational, inspiring accounts that help you focus on your goals rather than getting caught up in distractions online. Are you ready to build a positive environment and relationships that support you? Take some time to reflect on the people you surround yourself with, your living space and your digital space. What can you change to make your life easier and more effective? When you choose the right environment and companions, staying disciplined becomes simpler and more sustainable. These are the building blocks that help you reach your best self. 7. Responsibility and self-reflection. When we think of discipline, have you ever asked yourself, who's ultimately responsible for every decision you make? It's you. No one else can truly take responsibility for your growth. But how do you maintain this responsibility over the long term? The answer lies in self-reflection, which is the regular act of looking back and evaluating your actions. Self-reflection isn't about criticizing or blaming yourself. It's a tool to check if you're on track, to recognize achievements, and to identify areas for improvement. At the end of each day, try asking yourself, did I do what I intended today? Could I have done something better? This question keeps you connected with your goals and prevents you from drifting through daily life. One effective way to practice self-reflection is by keeping a journal. Each evening, take a few minutes to write down what you accomplished, how you felt, and what you can improve. For example, if you plan to complete a chapter but didn't, ask yourself why. Did you waste time on unnecessary tasks? Were you distracted by your phone or social media? Writing down these reflections gives you a clear perspective on yourself and makes it easier to adjust behaviors to reach your goals. Think of self-reflection like steering a ship. Every time you review and adjust, you're making sure you're heading in the right direction. Nobody's perfect, and no journey is completely smooth. However, having the courage to look back and admit where you could improve helps you grow. Imagine if you ignored self-reflection. You might stray far from your desired path and lose sight of your values. Besides responsibility, tools can help support your growth. For example, habit tracking apps or daily planners can remind you of goals and keep you accountable. You could set reminders for things you need to do each day, and at the end of the day, jot down what you achieved and what could improve. This creates a record of your journey, giving you motivation to keep going. Self-reflection also highlights your strengths and celebrates your progress. Don't just focus on what you missed, give yourself credit for what you achieved. It could be as simple as completing a task, forming a new habit, or not letting negative emotions impact your choices. Have you ever noticed that just one word of encouragement from yourself can make a big difference? You can also strengthen your sense of accountability by sharing goals with a trusted friend or family member. By voicing your goals, you add another layer of responsibility and get the support and encouragement of someone who cares. For instance, if you want to get in shape, ask a friend to work out with you or tell your family about your plan. When you have someone cheering you on, you're less likely to give up. Finally, remember that responsibility is a journey, not a destination. Don't worry if you have days where you fall short. What matters is that you don't give up, but keep trying to do better the next day. Ask yourself, are you ready to take one small step today to start reflecting and taking responsibility? What's one small area you'd like to improve right now? As you build the habit of self-reflection, you'll feel more accountable. This habit not only helps you achieve your goals, but also builds self-confidence and pride. When you look back, you'll realize that it wasn't the big successes, but these daily moments of self-reflection that helped you make lasting changes. When you think of discipline, it may seem like a series of limits and rules imposed on yourself. But true discipline isn't about restricting your freedom, it's about unlocking it. Discipline is the path that leads to genuine freedom. The freedom to live a life you're proud of. A life filled with purpose, where you're not pulled in every direction by fleeting temptations or external forces. Each principle we've explored today, from self-awareness, starting small and embracing long-term satisfaction, to focusing on what you can control, building habits, choosing positive surroundings, and taking responsibility. These are the building blocks of inner freedom. They aren't just rules, but powerful keys to taking ownership of your life. And you don't have to change everything at once. Start today with just one small action. Maybe take a few minutes to journal, set up a simple morning routine, or take time to reflect on your day before going to bed. Just one small step today, then another tomorrow, and you'll find yourself on the path to building a disciplined life that aligns with what you truly want. Begin now, because real freedom starts with the discipline you choose to cultivate within yourself. If this resonates with you, please like and subscribe to Daily Stoic Practice and share your insights in the comments. Your thoughts may inspire others on their own journeys to inner peace and resilience. Don't miss our daily videos, insightful discussions, and practical tips for applying Stoic principles to your modern life.